All right, quick icebreaker. I just want to go around the room real fast, and I want to go around the room real fast, and I want to know who you are, what community do you represent, and what skill do you bring to your community. So I would say my name is Jahmal Cole. I represent Chatham, and the skill I bring is community organizing. Some people bring gardening. Some people bring some people are therapists. What skill do you have to offer to your community? That's what I want to know. What community do you live in? What's your name? What community do you live in? What skill do you bring to your community? So I'm gonna here community skills. I'll try to line it up. All right. You start with here. How you doing today? Your hair is beautiful, by the way.
Okay, I am Elise, and I am from the Woodline and Hyde Park community.
Okay.
And what I bring to the community is resources.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right, who we got next? Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Ruth, and I'm in the Near North community, and I bring collaboration, between the diverse community.
Collaboration. Okay. Thank you. This marker's kind of tough, but I'll deal with it. All right. How you doing? Okay. Who we got next? Thank you, Ruth.
Stan Hayes.
What's up, Stan?
Part of Brothers in Christ Global. We work in the Inglewood community. We bring resources. We have a community dinner there once a month to support the community. Also, we bring a connection between the police and the community.
Thank you. Connect police and community. Okay. I want to learn more about that. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Stan. How you doing?
Bishop Ed Petrie with Together Chicago, and we bring connection.
Which community, sir? Citywide. Let's go. Thank you.
Together Chicago.
Got you. All right. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna try my best. But how's it going?
Hi everyone. I'm Daisy. I'm also with Together Chicago, working with Bishop and many others. I guess so since I am with Together Chicago, yes, also connection. But I guess personally, I live in the Austin neighborhood, and I think I'm especially more good at or like to do things like logistics, admin tasks, things like filming things. So those are some of my.
Thank you. How's it going, sir?
My name is Brother Anthony Goolsby. I'm with Brothers in Christ, PIC Global. We're a global organization, but as Stan said, he does the Inglewood, but I would say citywide, period, for me personally. And what I bring to the communities is a history of the communities as well as discipleship.
Thank you, sir. History, discipleship. And you said Inglewood?
He said Inglewood, I said citywide.
Citywide.
I was born in Cabrini, raised in Inglewood, but I've lived in every part of the city in my whole life.
Wow.
I'm 66 years, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. My name is Officer Gomez. I'm from the 5th District. And what I bring to the community is a little something that we like to call Operation Boom Boom. So I am one of the abandoned building officers for the district. So because of that, we get involved with a lot of community things. Problem that we have on some of these abandoned lots or properties is overgrown weeds. And if you're scared to have your grandbaby go out and throw out the trash, I personally have an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not scared to send my grandbaby to go throw out trash, then you shouldn't be either. So whatever we gotta cut down, we cut it down. We have a really, really good working relationship with our aldermen. And we cut everything down. They order us up to pick up, and they pick up all the debris, and it's over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. How's it going? I feel like I just saw you.
My name is June Norfleet, and and I'm with Talking Trash. I'm supposed to be back to took a whole year. Here we are. Operation Neighborhood Safety and Talking Trash, and I'm in Grand Crossing. I bring a passion to see the dignity restored to our communities and its physical hygiene.
Thank you, Jim. Who we got next?
I'm Georgia Porter. I live in Chatham,
Chatham.
and I bring spiritual care and love to my community.
Mark Johnson. I'm from Tapestry Fellowship and City First Foundation. And the neighborhood is Irving Park and Albany Park. Irving Park, Albany Park. And what I bring is networking of church and community.
Thank you. Okay, networking. And June, what'd you say was your skill you bring to the community?
Passion.
Love it. Okay. Urban Park, Albany Park. Got you. Who we got next?
I'm Calvin. I'm in the northern suburbs of my community, and I'm a psychiatrist and a medical director, so I do a lot of mental health.
All right.
Which northern suburb?
Live in Lincolnwood, practice in Northbrook, and our reach goes all the way up to the Wisconsin border.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kevin.
My name is Brother Andre Hinton. I'm an outreach coordinator for Circle Urban Ministries in the Austin community. I help people with Medicaid, SNAP, low-income housing, and I help people in crisis. I provide resources.
Thank you. You said Austin community?
Yes, please.
Got you.
My name is Jay Peters. I'm a missionary to Illinois, and we raise up young people to preach the gospel in the high schools. Like one of the main things we do, but yeah, make disciples.
Thank you. And what community was this?
Matson.
Matson.
South Suburbs.
Got you. All right, thank you. How's it going?
Richard Camacho, in the Oak Lawn, southwest suburbs, Oak Lawn, Alsip, Evergreen Park area. We serve the homeless and the hungry on the street.
Thank you for that. Thank
My
you, sir.
name is Craig Thompson, and I'm going to be moving to the area at God's direction. And my skills are bringing people together and encouraging.
I love it. Please don't take the bears with you, man.
I think they're staying.
They're following me on that.
Pleasure. How's it going?
Hello, I'm Kimberly, and I'm the prayer mobilization coordinator for Together Chicago, and I lead the Love Your School prayer corners. Can I get a hallelujah there? So, anyways, I do lead this prayer movement around schools around the city, but I moved into the very southern part of South Austin, the island.
South Austin.
And I live on the corner of Roosevelt and Mason, and so I'm gonna do my first Peace Corner after years of building Block of Peace, going to the Peace Corners with Mark. I am excited to say that this is gonna be my first year on Hands Across Chicago. I'm getting together with neighbors and gonna host a block party at the end, on that corner. So
Okay.
bringing people together, and I just love it.
He's okay. He's all right. He's okay. He'll be okay in a few minutes. He's just showing out. Thank you. And you said you were in Austin. What community you said? South Austin? South Austin? All right, a big man. It's gonna be okay. Where are you? What about you, ma'am? How you doing? Avalon Park.
My senior neighborhood, because the neighborhood is growing older, including myself. And so my neighbors, I try to coordinate what they need throughout the week. So that's basically what I bring to the community of Avalon Park. helping seniors.
Great.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. And
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark. I'm here in the Roseland community, and we do a lot of youth ministry and collaboration and the power of prayer.
Roseland, Power Prayer ×2. Thank you, Mark. Who we have next? Oh, hell. No, you are not. No, you are not. No, you are not. No, you are not. I'm about to. I was so nervous about this. I knew he was gonna be acting like this, but it's good for me. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's probably just like I was probably growing up. So, but thank you for hosting us today, by the way.
But I live in this area. This is my church, and I live at 91st. So that's kind of Ivy Park setup. And I think what I bring is resources to schools. That's my job. I work for Catholic Charities, and I'm a service coordinator in the independent senior center. So I know all about resources.
Okay. Anybody else we got? How's it going, sir? I don't know if you just want to introduce yourself and let us know what community you live in and what skill do you bring to your neighborhood.
So my name is Olumide, and I live in Roseland, but I work in Broomfield. And so what I bring to my community, I think what I bring is just to connect. I love to connect people, networking. So I like to network people in community.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, give yourselves a round of applause, first of all, for sharing that. I love to hear that because this is just a brief skill survey, but I've learned that if you knock on somebody's door and talk to them, people got at least 20 to 30 skills they can bring to your neighborhood. But when we hear about Chicago, we always hear about, the deficits of a community and not the assets and not the skills. And so again, my name is Jahmal Cole. I'm a community organizer from Chatham on the south side, 8th and Wabash. And basically for the next 77 months, I'm living in new communities in Chicago, trying to learn about the positive things, the strengths of the neighborhoods. And so first month I was in South Shore, and I got my food at Chef Sarah's, and also I Grand Rising Cafe. I worked out on 71st and Jeffrey at John Coleman's gym. That's my uncle. That's your uncle? Okay. So that's my gym. I go there, man. So, anybody know you go to that gym, you might shake hands with a lawyer when you walk in. You might be on a treadmill with somebody at work at a nightclub. I did my push-ups every morning next to a dude drinking a Heineken. That's my bad. That's my bad. Anyway, so I love community. That's the third space of that community. That's the coffee shop, is that gym. And so that's where people go to chop it up. That's where we go to build community. And so I was in South Shore the first month. The next month I went to Pullman, right? And Mike Szymanski and his wife Pat, they have a coffee shop there. So that's where I spent a lot of time learning from Mike. The next month I went all the way to Uptown, and there's a big unhoused population in Uptown. And so I worked with Cold Stone Community Outreach when I was out there, right? And Alderman Clay. And then I went to Humble Park, and I messed around and gained 10 pounds because all I did was eat all month. Like, how you put on 5 pounds when you go to college? When you go to Humble Park, you put on like 10 pounds right away. That's just how it goes. From Humble Park, I was able to go to Rogers Park, and I fell in love with, Alderman Haddon, and the backyard is the beach out there, right? That's the backyard is out there. Chicago is diverse sometimes, but some communities are diverse at the block level. Rogers Park is diverse in the building level. So inside of your own building, on your own floor, there'll be like an African couple here, there'll be a Chinese couple here, there'll be a transgender couple here. This is all on your same floor, you know what I mean, before you get outside. So Rogers Park really showed me a lot about diversity. From Rogers Park, I went to Portage Park, which I'd never been to Portage Park before, but Portage Park has so much peace. Has anybody been here at Portage Park here? Oh my God, there's like the actual park. The Olympics were there. I mean, they had the Olympic-sized swimming pool there, right in the middle of the park. And so Portage Park has been I want to say my favorite place for peace. From Portage Park, I went to Chicago Lawn. And it was interesting to be in Chicago Lawn because I felt there was it's like a fish out of water experience from Portage Park. But also, there was the fabric that exists in some communities for nonprofits didn't exist in Chicago Lawn. So there was nonprofits on one side of 63rd that had been there for 10 years that didn't know nonprofits on the other side of 63rd that had been there for the same amount of time. So My work there was trying to build that fabric together. From there, I went to North Lawndale. In North Lawndale, you know, everybody says it's really poor, but when I was in North Lawndale, I found it to be rich, right? It was rich in trust, it was rich in connections, it was rich in relation. Like, they were really parochial. Like, you ain't about to come in nonprofit. You're not about to come inside of North Lawndale and get grant money if you don't collaborate, you know, with other nonprofit organizations. So I had really good. There's a lot of good food to eat in North Lawndale too. From there, I went to Brighton Park. And by the way, in Brighton Park, you don't even have to speak English. Like, literally, you can come straight from Mexico and live in Brighton Park, and they're gonna make you order everything. And Alderman Ramirez, she got along with my son really well. ICE is just arresting people left and right. Listen, ICE is kidnapping people in Brighton Park, and so the community is scared. They don't know what to do. They're pulling up to laundromats and snatching people out. People are afraid in Brighton Park right now. From Brighton Park, I went all the way south to Hegewisch. Has anybody been to Hegewisch? I went to Hegewisch. Oh my, it was Alderman Chico. We hung out a lot, but it was nothing to do but eat pizza and hear trains come through the neighborhood all month, right? And then from there, y'all, I went to Chinatown. I went to Chinatown for a whole month, and I learned about the new Chinatown versus the old Chinatown, and how some people want Chinatown to be a tourist community and other people want Chinatown to be more immigrant serving. I learned about that. And then, how y'all doing today? And then from Chinatown, y'all, I went to right next door to Bridgeport, and Alderman Lee was a good friend of mine. Bridgeport had more civic energy than I actually expected, actually. It was a lot of civic energy. But now I'm in West Ridge. So that's month 13, I'm in West Ridge. In the morning, in one day, y'all, same block, I had Romanian food for breakfast. I had Peruvian food for lunch, and then for dinner I had Colombian steak, right? So this is all on the same block. So West Ridge is super, super diverse, right? I'm enjoying myself there. Okay, sorry about that. All right, I want you guys to open your books really quick. So this is gonna really the folders. If you don't got a folder, let me know. I want to show you guys to see the first page in my book is it's something negative, right? It says crime and public safety. This is just a quick Google search. Son, sit down right now. Sit down right now. Sit down right now before you get popped. Yeah, I got. Play with this. Okay, thank you.
You got an extra one of these?
Yes, sir.
Give me two. One for one.
Oh, no more folders. Actually, those are all gone. You can take mine. Take mine, please.
Thank you.
Here's a pen as well. Yep. And it's also digital online. It's I can give you my website. It's right online. It's formyblog.org. You can do it digitally. But okay, cool. All right. So first thing I want to open up is with this, the negative, because when you just Google Roseland, you just Google Chatham, you just Google it, and you'll see the first thing is going to come up as negative, and that's because if it bleeds, it leads. Like, we're judged by our bad deeds, but communities are judged by their deficits and not their assets. And don't take it personal. It's not just about Roseland. If you, I went to Italy last year and they said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Chicago." And they was like, bang, bang. I was like, "Who's that?" There was Al Capone. I was like, you're not even gonna say Michael Jordan? Like, not Barack Obama, Oprah, Angel Reese. I love it. Nobody, but that's because Chicago's known internationally, not only because of our crime, but because of our political corruption. And so it's the same thing with city. It's the same thing with communities. Communities are judged by their deficits, not their assets. We're judged by our bad deeds. Like my dad, if you judge my dad like that, my dad used to steal a lot for us growing up. So we grew up in a shelter between 9 and 12, and my dad stole all the time. He used to go to Jewel parking lot on 87 and steal. And when he come out, he would go in and get a bag of hot dogs, me an orange juice, and get him a beer. And he'd come out and I say, "Dad," I say, "Man, thank you so much for stealing me this food." And he would say, he would look down at me and say, "I ain't never stole nothing a day in my life." He was like, "You were stolen from Africa." And I would be like, I don't understand the correlation. But I didn't understand then, but that got me to stealing. So the first time I got caught stealing, I was how old was I? I was 9 years old, and I got caught stealing from Jewel, and I got caught stealing school supplies. And so when I stole a Trapper Keeper and a protractor, right? I wanted one. So they took me to this jail, and my dad pulled up. He said, "Let my son out of jail. He the only kid in Chicago that's ever stole school supplies before. He's gonna be a senator one day." And so I was like a super legend. Right? In my block, there was like, "You stealing school supplies." And so we went on from there to me and my brothers. We started breaking into houses and stealing fruit. Like we lived in a shelter. And so the first time I ever ate lasagna was on a break-in. Like literally, I opened the refrigerator door. I saw a casserole dish. I cut a little thing out, put it in the microwave. When I ate it, this is what I thought. The first time I ate it, I was like, man, this is what it tastes like to be rich. This is what it tastes like to be rich. So I tell y'all that because if people hear about it, they're like, man, you was a cat burglar at 11. You was this. They would judge me by my deficits and not my assets because people are judged by bad deeds. The point is communities are judged by their deficits, not their assets. And I've learned why. That's because weak journalism equals weak communities, y'all. Weak journalism equals weak communities. And the definition of a weak community is when people stop sharing the gifts that they have with their neighbors. They stop sharing their gifts they have and they just depend upon the narrative that's shaped by the journal. It's not only the journalists, y'all. It could be the movies that we're watching. It could be the shows we're watching. It could be the songs. It could also be us activists. It could be us activists. And I've learned it could be us because a lot of times in order to get grants, when they put a microphone in your face, they want you to talk about the unemployment, the truancies, the dropouts, the crime, the mental health, the drugs, the everything. They want to hear, tell me about it, right? And we don't realize when we're talking about our communities that way, we're building a prison around our neighborhood, right? Not a prison of bars, but a prison of services, a prison of systems, a prison of control, right?
Prison of ideas.
Prison in your mind, exactly, bro. Prison in your mind. Listen, but what I've learned is that when people feel controlled, they stop looking towards their neighbors. They stop looking towards the block club captains. They stop looking towards their pastors, and they start looking for the systems for support, right? When I'm living in these neighborhoods, y'all, what makes great communities to me, what I've learned is what makes good communities is people do three things. They've decided what the problem is. I've decided what the problem is in my neighborhood. I've decided how I'm going to solve the problem in my neighborhood. And I've decided to work with my neighbors to solve the problems. Those are the three things that strong communities do. They say, hey, I've decided what the problem is in my neighborhood. I've decided how we want to solve it. I'm going to work with my neighbors to solve the problem. So those are the things that I've learned that makes good communities. And I was telling you guys a little bit earlier what Mike Szymanski taught me about building communities. Again, I'll break it down a little deeper, but Mike says in Pullman, he's the mayor of Pullman, he says that building a house is a lot like building a community. And just like it takes different tools to build a house, it takes different tools to build a community because there's different ways to organize people to do things. And so the example I can use is a hammer and a saw. So a hammer, let's say a hammer represents systems like government, big systems. It uses control and power to drive nails down, to connect components together to make a structure. So that's a way you can build a community. The new 78, the big soccer stadium that's coming in, it's a system that's going to come in and build community. That's a way you can build communities. There's another way to build community, which is let's say it's a saw. A saw represents associations or block clubs or community groups or mutual aid groups. A saw is not like a hammer where it uses control to drive nails down to connect components together. A saw, it takes its time and it carves shapes into components and then connects those components into a larger structure. And so the point Mike was making to me as an architect was that when you're building a house, if you use a hammer on a component that really took a saw, then the foundation of the house is going to be messed up. And when you're building a community, if you use a system, a big conglomerate on an issue that really took an association or a mutual aid group, then the foundation of a community is messed up. And we see that with the 78. We see that with we see that happening right now. There's the people in Chinatown, they're feeling marginalized. They're saying, hey, you got this big system that wants to come into a community and everything's going to change for us. This is not just a tourist area. We're sending our kids to school, after school programs here. We want our kids to learn how to speak English, right? In Chinatown. So how can we don't mind building community, but we want to do it respectfully with the people in the area. He done took everything off. That's funny. He just, so, okay. So this is where we're going to go from here. I want you to, can I see this? We have community asset assessment surveys that I want everybody to fill out. We'll get to that at the end. But it's important that you guys fill this out because it will help us learn more about the strengths and the challenges of your neighborhood. And then we're going to connect you to somebody in the room so we can share and we can talk about our community. I'm going to tell you really quickly a little bit more about who I am, though. I applied to one. Here you go. Here you go, son. Okay, son. I applied to one college in high school, and that was Howard University. That's where I applied, and that's because a lot of famous rappers went there, right? My friends and I, we didn't match whatever skills we had with what colleges offered. We just chose colleges based upon were they on ESPN or did any famous people go right there. So I chose to go to Howard because of that. And the price to go to Howard was $75. We didn't have that. I lived in a motel on 52nd Street. We didn't have $75, right? Listen, y'all, I don't know. I was so ashamed in high school because we ate the shelter and my high school classmates would be volunteering at the shelter. They'd have the clear gloves on and they'd be giving us food. And my dad would say, hold your head up high when you go get that food. Don't be ashamed. And I was so embarrassed, right? I was so embarrassed, but that's how I was able to survive. So I don't know how we found $75, but we did. And I applied at the beginning of my senior year. Never heard anything back from Howard all year, right? And so I went to my guidance counselor, maybe like 2 weeks before high school graduation. I said, hey, I applied to Howard University. I haven't heard anything. What's going on? And she said, well, Jahmal, you go to an alternative high school. You can't go to a Division I college. And I was like, what's Division I? Like, I never heard Division I. I didn't know the difference, right? Like, all I knew was I'm going to the NBA. What you talking about? I'm going to the league. What you tell? She's like, well, you can't go to the league. You don't even come to school. I was like, man, you hating on me. You talking down on me. You hating on me. She was like, Jahmal, maybe you should go to the military or get a trade or do something, bro. I was like, this lady hating on me. And then God started shining down on me. Her phone rang and she left the office. Y'all, listen, there was, when she left the office, there was a black book on her shelf with gold letters that said All American Colleges on the spine. I grabbed the book, I opened it up, ripped the page out of it, shoved it in my pocket, right? She came back to the office, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even listening to her. But I went downstairs to the real office with this piece of paper. I took it out of my pocket. I opened it up and it said, Wayne State College, Nebraska. And I was like, I was like, Nebraska? I was like, what's in Nebraska? Is it Indians, buffaloes? Well, I've never been. Was it cold? Is it hot? I don't know. What's in Nebraska? Like, but this is all, I never met anybody who went to college before. I never had the internet. I didn't have the phone. I was living in a motel on 52nd, right? This is all I had. And so I dialed the number 402-375-7000. And a lady named Nancy answered the phone. I said, Nancy, I'm from the city. Y'all got a basketball team? I'm going to the league, Nancy. She's like, yeah, we got a basketball. I said, y'all got a business program? She said, yeah. I said, okay, cool. Send me some information. Long story long, y'all, they accepted people from alternative high schools all around the country. So they accepted me to Wayne State. Listen, y'all, when I got that acceptance letter, I was so happy. Yeah, it had manicured lawns, it had computer screens. I'm going to Notre Dame. This is amazing, y'all. I took this acceptance letter everywhere. I took it to my mom first. I didn't live with my mom, but I took it and said, Mom, check it out, Ma. I got accepted to Wayne State College in Nebraska. I'm about to go to the league, Ma. I'm about to buy you a Cadillac. We're going to get out the hood. My mom said, Jahmal, you got accepted to Wayne? I said, yeah. She said, where at? I said, Nebraska. She said, Nebraska? Like, what are you trying to be white? And I was like, nah. I'm trying to go to the league, Ma. So anyway, I didn't live with her. I went back to my block. So my boys on my block on 21st and 52nd. I said, Jeremy, check it out, Jeremy. I got accepted to Wayne State. I'm going to the league, man. I'm about to buy you a Cadillac, bro. We about to get out the hood, man. Yeah, so everybody get a Cadillac, man. He's like, you leaving the block? You leaving the neighborhood, man? We ain't going. You think you better than everybody, right? I got my job. I got jumped that summer. You think you better than everybody, man? You ain't better than us. Man, this acceptance letter to college was bad luck for me, right? So I only hope I had was take it back to my dad. So I took the acceptance letter back to my pops at the motel on 52nd. We called it Motel Hell. I was like, Pops, I got accepted to Wayne State College in Nebraska, man. I'm about to go to the league, man. We about to get out the motel. I'm about to buy you a Cadillac. Yo, I ain't saying this to say it, y'all. That same night, my dad stole a U-Haul truck and drove me 11 hours away to Wayne State College, Nebraska. That same night. Listen, and when when you're in Chicago at 17, you get a $500 credit card in the mail. I bought a pair of Air Force Ones. I ain't gonna lie. I bought a pair of Air Force Ones. I bought a Michigan State hat. I don't know why I would do that. And then some white tees, and that's it. And then we use the rest of the money to. Who steals a 17-foot U-Haul truck? Like, why couldn't he have stole a Prius or something? I maxed my credit card out just getting to college. I was so mad, man. But when I got out there, man, on the way to Nebraska, my dad said, Jahmal, I want to tell you something. I said, what's up, Pops? He said, man, I'm proud of you. You're the only person in the family to go to college. He said, I want to tell you something. I said, what's up, Pops? He said, about 6 months ago back in Motel Hell, I got the letter from Howard University in the mail. And it hurt me to see you go into the mailbox looking for it every day. It really did. But Howard didn't accept you. And, you know, I didn't show it to you because I knew you would be back with all your friends on the block. You would, and I, I would never have tried. If I'd have known, like, if I went to school 3 times in a week, my dad would say, you going to school again today? I didn't have to go to high school. So if I'd have known Howard wasn't accepting, I would not have tried. So the best thing my dad ever did for me was for, you know, stealing that U-Haul truck and getting me all the way to Wayne State College in Nebraska. But when I pulled up to college, I went right to the basketball coach's office. I said, I'm going to the league, man. Everybody was 7 foot tall from England and from Iowa, all over. I said, I'm going to the league. Y'all can't stop me. It was like an all-white team with a black head coach. I was like, oh, I got to play. You got to put me in the game, y'all. Again, y'all, he's the head coach at Colorado now. His name is Rico Burkett. Listen, y'all, like, when I walked in to talk to him, he's like, man, you got to get recruited. I was like, what's recruiting? I don't know nothing about that. He's like, you can't just walk in and say you're going to play for the league. He's like, you got to get recruited. Long story long, y'all, he kicked me out the gym. And every day for 2 months, I stopped by his office. I'm not saying it to say it. Every day, what's up, coach? How you doing, coach? You see Allen Iverson play? I'm going to be like that, man. I'm going to the league, man. You got to put me in a game. You see Kobe playing, coach? I'm going to be like that. After 2 months, he was like, something wrong with this kid, man. He was like, something wrong. He's like, you got a lot of heart, but he's like, something wrong with you. So he set me down. He gave me a tryout, and he let me walk onto the team. It was amazing, y'all. So he called me up and told me I was on the team. He said, be at practice next morning at 7 a.m. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to the league, y'all. What? I'm going to the league. I called everybody back home. I'm going to the league. Listen, I'm from a motel on 52nd Street. Now I'm signed by Adidas. Now I got shoes. I'm going to Hawaii next week. I've never even been on a plane, y'all. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to the league. We're playing in the Maui Classic. This is amazing, man. I want to say after 6 months of playing basketball at Wayne State, Rico Burkett, my coach, I call him Rico, he set me down. He's like, Jahmal, I got a question. What's up, coach? He's like, you play ball good. You got a great heart. I got a question. I said, what's up? He said, why do you have a 1.7 GPA? I was like, you know what, man? I went to an alternative high school back in Chicago. You know, I'm not used to having teachers, let alone professors. And plus, I don't got no books. I've never even read a book before. You know, and plus, the people in Nebraska are racist. You know, I mean, on the media day, they're like, hey, Jahmal, this is the media. They're like, Jahmal, will you talk to my little brother on the cell phone? He's never talked to a black basketball player before, but he watches ESPN all the time. Will you talk to him? And I'm like, hello? I mean, that's racist. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, you want to know why I'm not getting good grades? I'm going to tell you. It's cold out here. I don't got no money. I hate the food. Y'all treat me racist. I'm having a hard time adjusting in Nebraska, man. And coach was patient with me. He just let me keep on going on. I said, man, I'm homesick. I don't got this. I don't got that. And he just stopped me. He said, Jahmal, you know what's missing from your list? I said, no, what? He said, your name's not on it. He said, no excuses. The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility for your actions. And I was like, what is he? I just told you, I'm not making this. I went to an alternative high school. I've never had a teacher. Now I got professors. I've never read a book before. I can't afford these expensive books. I just told you, man, it's cold out here. I don't got no money. I hate the food. You treat me racist, man. I'm having a hard time adjusting in Nebraska. I'm trying to you got me practicing twice a day. I'm trying to go back and roll some dice and make some friends in my dorm room, man. I'm tired. He said, Jahmal, no excuses, man. The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility for your actions. And he kicked me out, right? He brought me back in the next morning, set me down, put an envelope on the desk and slid it over to me. I opened it up. It was $500 cash. He was like, go buy some books. And I was like, I'm going to the league. I was like, $500, y'all? This is the second time I've had $500 in my life, right? The second time I've had $500, y'all. So what I did was I went and bought some more Air Force Ones. I ain't gonna lie. I bought some more Air Force Ones. I bought a Kirk Heinrich jersey. I don't know why I would do something like that. I bought a Kirk Heinrich jersey when he played for Kansas. And then I bought 4 of the 5 books I needed that semester. I was like, I don't need business stats, but I'm gonna get 4 of the 5 books I needed. Yeah, in one semester at Wayne State, I went from 2 semesters. I went from a 1.7 to a 3.5 GPA. And my second report card, I had 4 A's and a C. I went from a 1.7 GPA to a 3. I never had an A in my life. I found out how to get a mentor. I learned how to separate immediate gratification from long-term rewards. I went from a 1.7 to a 3.5. So you know what I'm gonna say? I'm going to the league, man. I went right to my coach. You gotta start me. You gotta start me. I got 4 A's and a C. You was just talking all that stuff last semester about me not playing. You got to put me in the game, coach. I got 4 A's and a C. And Coach Burkett, he looked at my report card and he looked at me. He looked at my report card. He looked at me. His exact words were this. He said, why the hell did you get a C? I said, why did I get a C? I just told you it's cold out here. I got no money. I hate y'all treat me racist. I said, man, I'm having a hard time adjusting out here, coach. You sound like my guidance counselor in high school, man. You should be proud of me, man. Why aren't you talking down on me? He said, Jahmal, no excuses, man. The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility for your actions, y'all. And I'll tell y'all that story because the whole time I was in Wayne State, I never played, y'all. The whole time I was, listen, y'all, I graduated college with honors in 3 years. I made straight A's. I never played. I was so mad at my coach. I cried when I walked the stage when I graduated. I was a scholar. I cried. I didn't think you were successful if you weren't a rapper or a basketball player. I didn't see success in any other forms. That's all I saw success as. I cried. My parents couldn't afford to come see me walk the stage. I was so mad at my coach that I wrote a book about him. Can you be so mad at somebody you write a book? I was. I wrote a book. Listen, my first book got published by a company in Atlanta. And this company in Atlanta, they made like $90,000 on my first book. And they gave me like $6,000. So I bought a pinky ring. I went to Hawaii and I was broke. And I said, man, I was like, you know what? The next time I write a book, I'm going to sell it myself downtown Chicago in front of Foot Locker. I'm going to write a motivational book called, 50 Excuses. And I'm going to sell it in front of Foot Locker. And this is what I did. And y'all, literally, on a good day, 2 out of every 100 people that pass by me would buy a book, right? You can't just buy a $200 pair of Jordans and not buy a $10 book from me outside. On a good day, 2 out of every 100 people that walk by will buy a book. On a great day, 3 out of every 100 people that walk by me will buy a book. No matter how good or great the day was, 97 people still said, nah, I'm cool. No, I don't even read. I'm cool, man. Yeah, it didn't matter. Like once I realized how I could stand guard at the door of my thoughts and not let those no's impact my energy, I felt like Malcolm on that corner. Boy, I was just like, you want to check out the book I wrote about Chatham? You want to check out the book I wrote about my community? I made over $60,000 in 2 months on that corner. I made. Listen, y'all, Toyota gave me $50,000 cash and a brand new car by just selling books on the corner in front of Foot Locker. More so than any money that I made, somebody from Cook County Jail read the book. Somebody from Cook County Jail, and they said, this is a great story. Will you come to the jail and talk to the 18-year-olds about your story? I said, yeah, y'all gonna buy some books? I said, cool, I'll be there. I got to the jail and they said, no, we didn't say 18-year-olds. We said AT. This is an acronym for automatic transfer. These young men, they're going downstate for some years. But before they go there, will you come and motivate them? I was like, dang, what they do? But it was too late. It was like a room like this. It was too late to be afraid. You can. Oh, got you. Thank you for that. Okay, stay with me. Oh, okay, let's watch. It's okay. You going to the league too, I get it. All right, big man. Here, sit down and watch this. Thank you. You got it. All right, okay. All right. Okay, so basically I got to the jail and they wanted me to talk to the automatic transfer unit. And I got there and I was in my full suit and tie. I felt like Malcolm in the jail. And I was like in full suit. Nobody wanted to hear me speak. And so the guy didn't want to hear me speak. So his name was Marquell. I said, okay, Marquell. I said, you don't got to listen to me speak. I was like, you don't got to listen to me. I was like, let me ask you a question, bro. I was like, since you know everything, I said, hey, let me ask you this. He said, what? I said, well, how come your life hasn't worked out for you up until right now? Why are you in jail? What's going on? You know what he said? He said, it's cold out here. I don't got no money. I hate the food. Y'all treat me racist. He said, I'm having a hard time adjusting, Jahmal. I was like, that's my list. Yo, I said, that's my list. The same list I gave to my coach, y'all. That's when it dawned on me, y'all. That's when it dawned on me. The whole time I was in college, Coach Rico wasn't teaching me how to change my jump shot, y'all. He was teaching me to change my philosophy in life. Like back in the early 2000s, I was blaming everybody for my problems. The teachers messed up. The schools was messed up. The principal, my philosophy was messed up. It was messed up. And in Chicago, it's the same thing right now, man. If you just ask somebody, you just say, oh, why does your block look like this? You know what they're going to say? They're going to say the alderman's messed up. The preacher's messed up. The cops is messed up. Oh, that philosophy is so messed up. Listen, y'all, in my block, my city, our philosophy is 15 words. What's something simple I can do that'll make a positive impact on my block? What's something simple I can do that'll make a positive impact on my block? I found that when you start with the simple things, you create the muscle it takes to take on bigger challenges. We have an army of volunteers. God's blessed us with an army of volunteers to show up. We hang holiday lights on King Drive, right? We take kids on field trips around Chicago. We organize block clubs. If you guys are organizing, we give block clubs grants up to $5,000 a year to organize people on their block. Some people, how do I get this drug house off my block? How many signatures do I need for a stop sign? How do I I don't want the new speed bump, I want the old speed bumps. How do I get the alleys cleaned up? Like we support block clubs with cameras. We know how many Ring cameras we support block clubs with. We have grants for block clubs, y'all. And we're funded to support block clubs. That's what we do. More so than giving grants and stuff, though, we connect you guys to other block club captains that are doing the work, so you guys can share block wisdom. The more connected people are, the safer they are, the healthier they are, the happier they are. And so, again, I'm Jahmal Cole with My Block, My Hood, My City. Listen, I didn't go to the league as far as like making it to the NBA, but I found my own league in life. I found my own league, and my league is to help people as best I can. So thank y'all for listening to me. My name is Jahmal. This is Justice, and I'm going to the league, y'all. I'm going to the league, man. I'm going to the league. Please fill out these surveys. Please fill out these surveys. It's going to help me understand the strengths of your block, the challenges in your block, and then connecting you guys to resources. So also happy to answer any questions that you guys have while I'm up here. So definitely happy to answer any questions. Thank y'all for bearing with me with my son. Any donations you can make towards the gear, just make a donation if you can for the gear. You can have it. But we're going to make sure, please, ma'am, Miss Price, please make sure your husband gets some, though, because before you go, please give one. But if you want to make a donation, you can. I brought gear for people. So, but you know how you can help me? Forget the donation. If you take a piece of apparel, take a photo of you on your block and then hashtag just my block, my hood, my city. Therefore, I'll see you. I just want to know. Tell me something about your block when you wear it. I want to know where do y'all get y'all local news from? Like some people look at Block Club Chicago. Some people look at local news. How do y'all get y'all local news in your block? That'll help me understand how to reach people better. Okay. So I heard people don't even watch the news no more. They just use Facebook.
That is a real thing.
Wow.
That is a very real thing.
Wow. Happy to answer any questions you guys have about the org too while I'm sitting here.